like to thank you guys for coming out to the 2013-2014 executive elections debate. My name is REGIS BURTON, the current Student Government Association president. The way today's proceeds are going to operate is that we're going to introduce each executive member, executive vice president, executives for clubs and organizations, and executive secretary. Each candidate will come and give their prepared speech, after which they'll take a few questions from you guys, and we'll do this for 10 intervals of 10 minutes, and then we move on. I want to apologize for starting a bit late, but better late than never. So at this time, I'd like to introduce and invite the candidate for the Executive Vice President of 2013-2014. Give her a round of applause.
Hi everybody, my name is SWASEY. This is my second year at SUNY Old Westbury, my first year on SGA, and I'm very excited about next year and being your Student Government Association Executive Vice President. I'm the only candidate running, but I want you to know that I am very excited about this. I've seen the vast improvements that this current SGA has made, and I'm really excited about what we can do next year and how we can make it better. We've had such improvements as the concert, and I know there are a lot of ways that we can improve that, but that was such a big thing on its own that I just want to thank this SGA board for doing. And I'm really excited to hear your guys' suggestions for what we can do next year. So does anybody have suggestions right now or any questions for me?
Hello?
Hello? All right, I guess I'll start by breaking the ice. Could you please elaborate or tell us about your leadership experience at SUNY College at Old Westbury that prepared you for this position?
My leadership experiences include, I've been the treasurer for World Changers for a year and a half now. I've been the treasurer for Old Westbury Vets. They are currently non-active. They're working with administration, but they're working on becoming active again as a club to get a budget. I'm now vice president for them. And really, it's just prepared me with pushing me to get out there and meeting more people and taking my role seriously as a leader.
I want to know how you plan on improving, because I know that the executive vice president, you work very closely with academics. I want to know like what plans or anything like that you have for academics, any departments or anything like that as a whole.
My main thing with academics is making sure that the student body is served with it. So I want to make sure that the student body is getting the classes that they need when they need them, because I know that a lot of classes, I've had trouble with a language that I want, and it's only offered during the summer. I know that other people have trouble with other things like that. So I'm a student from another state. I'm from Vermont, by the way. So getting here in the summer is not a possibility. So I just want to make sure that everybody is served and that they know that they have power as a student, because we pay money to come to the school. The teachers get paid to come to this school. And I know that it may seem like they're in a position above us, but honestly, if you take into consideration the fact that we pay their salary, I feel like we have a lot more pull than we think that we do.
It is of good practice that any decision made at this institution have a student input on that decision. In the event that a decision is made which directly affects students and the students did not have an input, how will you address this problem if you think it is a problem?
If I feel like there's a large enough concern, I personally would go to the head of that decision first, the person putting forth that decision, and see if there's a possibility for student input before any further action is made. That would be my one.
Describe some things that you see currently going on at SGA that you feel you could change if you became the vice president.
This might not be a popular answer, but abusive office hours. Because I feel like a lot of people just come in, write in the book that they've been there and they haven't been. And when you're there every day for so many hours and you see other people just writing down that they've been there, it gets really frustrating.
All right, so describe for us your first Senate meeting.
as executive vice president or the first Senate meeting I was ever at?
As if you were to gain executive vice president position.
Okay. My first Senate meeting, I know it would probably need to be a formal occasion, but I would want to get to know the senators and what their needs are and how I can serve them as executive vice president.
All right, just the last question. Give us a synopsis of what do you think the purpose of your position is?
I think that the purpose of my position is to serve the students of the school as any SGA member's position is. So whatever I feel like the need is, I'm going to go to the students and see if they have that same need.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Camilla.
Thank you.
Just before we continue, just feel free to ask any question you like. At the end of the day, these are the people or students that will be representing you guys. At this time, we'd like to introduce the candidates for the executive secretary. So if you can give him a round of applause.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Christian AMARO, and I'm running for executive secretary. If you ask me why do I want to be part of SGA, in my freshman year, I would have said I wouldn't want to be. But as my years grew in Old Westbury, I'm a junior right now, I realized that I'm paying for an education, I'm paying for student activities that I'm not utilizing. So I realized that the only way to go is forward, to move on is to grow as an individual. When I was younger, I was actually I was a youngest child, so everything was handed to me. I never worked for what I got. So I realized with these college opportunities, I need to work hard and challenge my own reality. That happened in sophomore year when I became the treasurer for my whole council. Eventually, I became an RA and game day staff and officer positions for my fraternity. I feel like I'll be a good candidate for executive secretary because I used to be the secretary for my organization. And with this job, it entails accurate note-taking, accuracy in your work, and very detailed information. And I feel like I could provide that. Expectations from me would be minutes, notes, that wouldn't be asked questions later like, oh, I didn't understand what you wrote. I urge you all to vote for me because I am a trustworthy individual who's determined to fill the duties as executive secretary. With my experience at SGA already, and my newly appointed chair of faculty review committee, I feel like I'm continuing my progression as a student, as an individual in SUNY Westbury.
Thank you, thank you. Does anybody want to break the ice?
Being a former executive secretary, I want to know what is something that you could change as far as collecting minutes and such, because when I came on, I said there has to be something else for me to do, there has to be something else for me to do. What is something else that you think that you can change as executive secretary?
Something I have done within my own organization, along with the minutes, I put quotes in, because these quotes are very important in meetings. Like, these are stuff being said that changes the way meetings are held. Other ways can be having well, for me to accurately note take, I do a voice record on my computer for these notes. But as my position, if I get the position, I will learn more and progress it respectfully.
The student body is the Student Government Association operates assembly meetings under the Roberts Rule of Orders. How familiar are you with this, and do you think it is practical for the student senate meetings to keep operating under this, or would you suggest getting rid of this practice?
The Roberts Rules of Order is very efficient in meetings. Actually, from our organization, we have used the Roberts Rules of Order. And Roberts Rules of Order is designed for a meeting to start and end in a sufficient time. It's not prolonged with sidetracking or any undesignated parts in the meeting. Roberts Rules of Order is efficient for an efficient meeting. straight to the point, and it creates order. Already in the SGA Senate meetings, Robert Rules of Order are already intact. And I believe in them, and I would agree with them.
Are there any questions in the audience?
As Executive Secretary, you have the opportunity to be a part of any committee campus-wide that you would like to be a part of. Name your first choice committee and tell us why you chose that committee.
I believe the program committee, because it depends the students' awareness of programs, and some programs don't appeal to students, community students, and residential students. So I feel like I would like to join the program committee and just throw programs that appeals to students, because as I said earlier, in freshman year, I didn't want to join or go to any programs. I was very apathetic towards the school. So stuff that will appeal to people who just come in and out of school.
Questions? As Executive Secretary, you're often taken as the silent leader. How could you break the shackles of this?
As Secretary, you're right, it is a silent leader because you're just on the sidelines taking notes. But with participation in SGA, in the meetings, and speaking up, you won't become a silent leader. You will tell how you feel, you tell your views.
Questions? Tell us about a few policies that you disagree with and would implement to change, whether campus-wide or in SGA.
Well, in SGA, there's a policy where they allow 2 absences from meetings, and in the last one, after 2 absences, you're on probation. I feel like it should be shortened to 2 absences. 1, after that, you're on probation, because people don't attend meetings, and that's, the meetings are there for a purpose. Another policy will have to be, I would have to say, office hours as well. There should be a system, a computerized system or something besides just a logbook of office hours, because people do abuse it.
Thank you. If we have any other questions?
I would like to know, what would be your plan of action for clubs and orgs, clubs who don't submit their meeting minutes to you in a timely manner or at all? What will you do to solve that problem?
Well, you have to enforce the rules and regulations behind that. You have to either address it to the club president or address it to the members and enforce those rules.
Any other question?
Do you have in mind any consequences for clubs who don't abide by the rules that you set?
I feel like their budget should be frozen until the next semester.
Thank you.
And any other questions? All right, thank you, Christian.
Thanks.
Before we go to our last candidate for today, I'm sure you're wondering why do we have 3 seats here. It was because the candidates were supposed to sit here and take questions. Tomorrow when we have more than 1 candidate running for position, these seats will be filled and they will go back and forth answering questions. At this time, we'd like to introduce and welcome the candidate for the Vice President of Clubs and Organization, Kevin.
How's it going, everybody? My name's Kevin Perry, running for Vice President of Clubs and Organization. All right, so when asked why do I want to join SGA, I get a flow of millions and hundreds of motivation of ideas of why I want to be part of SGA. So to save time and keep all you guys' attention, I'm gonna keep this short and brief. I found I was able to wrap everything into one big umbrella idea of why I want to join SGA, and it's for the simple fact that I love Old Westbury. And my motivation for that, I love Old Westbury, because Old Westbury to me is more than a school. It's more than a pit stop before I go to my career, or like how some freshmen view it as a pit stop before I transfer to Stony Brook, which I hate that idea, by the way. So when I hear people say things like, oh, you go to Old Westbury, and they belittle Old Westbury, it enrages me because I know the potential that Old Westbury have to be such a great school. So this is why I want to be part of SGA, because I know through SGA that is something I could change. So I know that being part of SGA, I could bring first off, my unparalleled amount of experience that I have on Westbury campus, but also my ambition and drive for progress at the school. And the student body could expect more organized events, more organized SGA on top of that, if I do come inside SGA, because I witnessed SGA and how it have been run since my freshman year, and I noticed room for change and improvement. And as Gandhi say, if you have to be the change you want to see. So this is why I'm here trying to be part of SGA, so it could be the SGA that I know it could have full potential it could be. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a question.
What is a problem that you see now with your current position, well, the position that you probably be taking, and how you can fix it?
Well, no shots at the current vice president of clubs and organizations. But a lot of people, a lot of representatives of clubs are very disappointed with how COCO is run. And they say that they don't like how when things occur, like their budget is frozen, they have no knowledge of it until they go in the office and it's chaotic. And they're like, hey, you know your club is frozen. It's been frozen for the last 3 weeks. How do you not know about this? And then I know it's a two-part system where you have to do work and you have to like uphold a certain amount of things to have an active club, but the communication is not clear, and that could be improved greatly.
Are there any bylaws that you want to change?
Currently, I looked over the bylaws, and I kind of like it, but I don't like the fact that COCOs are held bi-weekly. I understand that it's a large school, and it's based on a lot of commuters, and it's a lot of clubs, and you have to fit everyone's need, but I feel that there should be more times and more places where COCO, not only COCO, but clubs and vice president of clubs and organization meet, not only doing COCO bi-weekly. I feel there should be more time.
You spoke about your unparalleled aspect of leadership at SUNY or Westbury. Please elaborate on the qualities that qualifies you for this position.
All right, how much time you got? All right, first off, my first week here at SUNY College out of Westbury, as a freshman, I joined RAC. I was a wing rep, and I wasn't really ready to get involved. And as a wing rep, I progressed into the treasurer of my hall, and then from there, I started a own club on campus, the pool club, which is still an active running club. I served in all 5 e-board positions of that club. I even served as an event coordinator when I wasn't part of the e-board of that club. I seen many events go. We went from a club with 0 budget to now that we have a couple of $1,000s to throw good programs. I'm currently the vice president of my fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, notorious Lambda Phi chapter. I served in CSLI. It goes on and on.
Question? Do you think that switching to Campus Vine next semester will be beneficial for the students and SGA as a whole?
I didn't hear. I'm sorry, repeat the question?
Do you think that switching to Campus Vine next semester will be beneficial for SGA and SGA as a whole?
Well, I'm not exactly familiar with the exact system itself, Campus Vine, but I feel switching to a more electronic-based communication system would be beneficial for the whole campus and SGA as a whole, yes. But I'm not 100% with that exact software.
Just a follow-up. Campus Vine would eliminate students' involvement, Campus Vine will eliminate students' access to the office, meaning students will not be coming in and out of the office at the moment as much as they are. Do you think this goes against what you first wanted, to have students more in the...
Well, this is not going against what I first wanted, because what I first wanted is more organization. And when you go into the student government office, there's 50 students, 4 rooms, and a crowd, and nobody know where to go. You've been waiting in front of this room for an office for 40 minutes, kind of find out you need to see Destiny in another room. She's not there because she just left, her office hours over. So that crowd that's in that office, if it could be eliminated, by all means, let it.
Question? Question is, how how frequently do you believe that you would need to meet with the Vice President of Business and Finance?
I'm sorry, what happened?
How frequently do you think you should meet with the Vice President of Business and Finance? Like, what is the importance of that?
All right, I'm a kind of take a tangent. We need to meet as often as possible, because if you set a set date, like, oh, we meet bi-weekly, then a lot could go on in that 2 weeks. And I feel as sometimes a part of the semester, you need to meet more often as certain circumstances and things come up. So I feel that it should be a bi-weekly meeting set up, but also weekly updates to manage communication.
Question? As chair of COCO, you're responsible for hosting Club Bash. Tell us something you think this event has been. Tell us if you think this event has been successful thus far. Would you change or improve it?
Personally speaking, from somebody who participated in Club Bash many times, I felt is very successful, but promotion for it, people knowing about it, people setting up in time, the way and how it's run sometimes is very unorganized and not very professional a lot of times from SGA point on coming from. So I feel there could be improved, first off, by promotion, getting more clubs involved, and trying to let the student body know it's taking place.
Question? Like the same question, tell us a few policies that you disagree with and would implement change, whether campus-wide or in SGA.
I'm trying to go for a different policy than I said earlier. A policy, I didn't want to, not to repeat after Chris, but the two absents, I feel this is a student government and we represent the student body, and one that's not professional and know how to work time management reflects badly not only on SGA but the whole school. Because if we are the representative of the school, we can't make two meetings. We can't make a meeting that is set. How does that set? How can we implement change and try to run the school? So I feel we should be more strict on the attendance policy, especially e-board.
Okay. We have a question from the audience.
Sort of like a follow-up to that. Do you think that a time should be allotted in the Constitution, or I guess for meetings and such, so that way you can't miss it and you know ahead of time? Like I do believe for RHA, they do have a time that they meet Tuesdays and Thursdays at this specific time. Do you think something like that should be added in our Constitution?
No, because every year people in the positions change, the classes change, the availability change. Remember, we are students first. This is student government, not professionals who got hired by the school, and it's the only thing we got to do for 40 hours a week. So we all have prior commitments, and we also have classes that we have to run. You're students first, then you're a student leader. So you don't know, I might have a 10:30 at night on Monday, and you can't say, oh, we have to change the Constitution around my class. I feel it should be open for every e-board, because no two e-boards are the same.
Any questions in the audience before the last question? All right, just wrap up by giving us a synopsis of the purpose of your position.
Well, the purpose of my position mainly is to make sure that clubs and organization communication lines and SGA is met. That's through COCO. And I feel like, yeah, that's the synopsis. It's communication through clubs and organization, and SGA have one line of communication and it's met.
Thank you. Give him a round of applause. I'll first like to thank and congratulate all the candidates who came up here and spoke. I know it's not an easy thing, and it's something that you will grow as you gain more experience in the position. If everybody could give them a round of applause, please. As we come to the end of our first session of the debate, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out here. Tomorrow we'll continue at 12 also, and we'll be doing the Executive Vice President for Business and Finance, Executive Public Relations, Executive Vice President, and Executive Vice President for Programs and Activities, and our Executive President. So please spread the word, 12 p.m., common hour. And immediately after debates, we will begin our elections at 1 outside the bookstore. Thank you guys once more for coming out. Hope you have a good day and enjoy your midterms.